Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel where I share content about life hacks and self-development. And today I wanted to share with you guys the part 1 out of my 2-part video series describing my marriage-based green card application experience. In today's video, we will go over the whole application process, the timeline, meaning I will share with you guys how long it took me to get my green card approved, as well as the legal service and the type of documents that we submitted during our application. So I would say the application itself wasn't that complicated. The most complex part was just collecting all of the documentations that you need, and trust me, they will ask you for plenty of documents, so just be ready to collect a lot of paperwork. So for your actual petition, this is the list of documents that you will need to submit, so just make sure that you are super on top of this paperwork so that it doesn't cause any issues in the future. So a little bit more about our timeline. We got married in mid-July 2019. We just did a simple courthouse ceremony with just one witness because we wanted to have a little bit more time to plan the big wedding. After that, it took us a few weeks to get Nick's birth certificate. Since he didn't have his original birth certificate on file, he had to get it from the county clerk in San Francisco where he was born. It also took some time for me to get my medical exam and get all of my shots. So all in all, after collecting all the paperwork, we officially submitted our application in August, and our official date of receipt was August 18th, 2019. So in terms of the whole filing process, we did not hire a lawyer. I asked a lot of people and I consulted people, and most of the people said that lawyer is really unnecessary unless you have more of a complicated case. For example, if one of you entered the US illegally, or you have more of a complicated family situation, then you might need a lawyer. But for us, it was just a simple case, so we decided not to invest into a lawyer. What I did decide to do is to find a more affordable way to make sure that we were compliant, we were doing everything right, and I narrowed it down to 2 online services. One was Boundless Immigration and the other one was Simple Citizen. We ended up going with Simple Citizen just because the reviews were really good and they had a pretty high success rate based on those reviews, and they were also significantly cheaper than Boundless Immigration. So what Simple Citizen is that they are an online service that more so helps you to make sure that you have all the right paperwork and you're on track. They also do have an in-house lawyer that reviews everything at the end, but because it's not like an individual lawyer that you work with, it's significantly cheaper. I would 100% recommend Simple Citizen if you just want extra support, because the way that their website looks like is that they will give you an official checklist of everything that you need to submit, and you can actually upload all of those documents onto their platform, which is what we did, and was super helpful to just have that checklist and make sure that we had everything, since it's so much paperwork that's very easy to make a mistake. Then once you are done submitting all the paperwork, you can pretty much submit your application to them. Then they will have the in-house lawyer will go ahead and review everything. They will make sure that all your documents look correct, you're not missing anything. They also did give me some advice saying that I needed to have a bit of a better copy of my passport, a better copy of my visa. They also did give me advice on the passport photos that we took. They also gave me an advice of where I can find a physician for my physical exam, which was super useful. So what they do at the very end is, once everything is ready and their lawyer approves your entire application, they print everything out to you, the entire application, the way that you would mail it to USCIS, and they will actually mail the whole package to your house. And in the entire application, they had a bunch of bookmarks and they were color coded. So I believe the blue was for me to sign and green was for my husband to sign, which was super useful because I want your application to be sent back just because the signature is missing. So I just followed all the bookmarks. I signed all of my parts, then Nick signed all of his parts. They also give you a little Ziploc bag where you're supposed to put your passport photos, and they gave you a little clip that you would attach to your application. So pretty much after we signed everything, I just put it all in the package and I mailed it to USCIS. Yeah, just having like Simple Citizen as like an extra pair of eyes to look at your application before you submit it was super useful. So let's talk about our timeline. So as I mentioned to you guys, our receipt date was on August 18th, 2019. About 3 weeks later, so September 6th, I got a notice in the mail for my biometrics appointment. So what I did is that I found the nearest USCIS field location. I just went and got my fingerprints and all of those things done. And then after that, we didn't hear back from them for a while until about August 22nd, which is when I got a notification that my EAD card, or like the work authorization / travel combo card, got approved. And then after it got approved again for about a month and a half, I didn't hear anything back. And then around February 1st is when I got a notification that my card had been mailed to me. My biggest advice for you is definitely download the USCIS app. There is actually a USCIS app on Apple Store. You can enter your case number into that app and it will automatically give you any updates and notifications that you might have, so that you don't have to wait until you get notice in the mail, or you don't have to like log into the USCIS website every single time. It was definitely very useful to have that app. Then with my EAD card, we did have a bit of an issue because we originally filed our application while I was still living in California, and then by the time my EAD card got approved, we had already moved to New York City. And the biggest tip for you, if you are changing address, make sure that you are changing your address on every single case. It doesn't automatically update all of the cases. And so I updated my address on my I-485 case, but I didn't update it on my I-765 case, which was my EAD card. And so my EAD card got mailed to my old address in California. And at first I wasn't worried because they did pay for the mail forwarding service with the post office, but apparently for documents like your EAD card and your green card, they do not forward that. And so what happened was that the card got mailed back to USCIS. And I was so terrified and upset because I read on a bunch of forums that when that happened to a few people, it took them months before they were able to get the EAD card again. So I was pretty much devastated at the time because I really wanted to get my EAD card. And so what I did was that I called USCIS. I was wondering what happened with the change of address, because I did submit all of that and they did admit it was like a technical mistake. And then thankfully it only took me about a week to get the card at my address in New York. So it was about 5 or 6 months after we submitted our application was when I got my EAD card. So that was February 2020, and then you guys know that March 2020 happened, which is when coronavirus got very serious in the US. So all the USCIS locations shut down for a while. So I didn't hear anything back from them until pretty much September 2020. And so in September 2020 was when I got a notification that my interview had finally been scheduled. So it was 7 months after I got my EAD. Obviously, normally the timeline wouldn't be that crazy. Like, you would usually be a little bit faster, but because of COVID this year, like, everything got delayed. And I remember while we were waiting for the interview to get scheduled, I was very nervous because I kept reading the news and USCIS was in a very difficult situation because they weren't making enough money after President Trump banned all of the visa applications. So there were a lot of articles in news saying that they were going to furlough thousands of employees, which would have caused even longer delays. And then since my EAD card was only until end of December this year, I really thought that, I would probably be out of work and I had to file for an extension. But thankfully in September 2020 is when we got a notification that our interview was scheduled for October 21st, 2020. So yeah, if you guys want to find out more about how our interview went, the types of questions that they asked, and some of the tips for your interview, I'll upload that video next week. So definitely don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know once that video is up. If you're watching this video far in the future, I'll probably just include the link in the description down below. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully this timeline video and the process was helpful for you guys, and I will see you guys in a week.